Spurs Bros, welcome in to episode 43 of the Spurs Bros podcast. We have some merch to give away right off the top. Stay tuned to see if you were the winner from that. Once we do the giveaway, we're going to be discussing De'Aaron Fox extension eligible on Sunday. Spurs new arena plans, more details have dropped there. We're also going to go through best and worst lineups for the Spurs last season, and ESPN's first power rankings for next season are out. In the meantime, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, tell a friend about the pod. If you want some merch, leave us a message as well. But let's get right into it. Episode 43.
Spurs Bros! Welcome to episode number 43 of the Spurs Bros podcast, the Frank Brickowski episode. Does anybody know who Frank Brickowski is?
Frank the Tank?
Frank the Tank.
I don't know if that's his actual nickname. 3 seasons with the Spurs in the 80s. Yep. But I think the fun fact of how we acquired Frank Brickowski was we traded Michael Thompson to the Lakers. We traded away Michael Thompson. We got Brickowski, another player, 2 draft picks and cash in 1987. And then Thompson went on to win rings with the Lakers.
Dang.
So kind of a big deal in NBA history.
Absolutely. Somebody put in the comments if anybody knows who Frank Brickowski is. If you do, then that means, well, I don't know, that you're a diehard. But although this is episode 43 and this is technically the Frank Brickowski episode, I have to say, because the 28th of July was Manu Ginobili's birthday, I feel like that this title also belongs to Manu Ginobili. I've been seeing all these highlights of him across my timeline because the guy is a GOAT. The guy's just a GOAT. Every time I watch his highlights, I'm reminded of just how much I loved him. He was my second favorite player of all time, right behind Kobe Bryant for me. He was lefty. I was lefty. My birthday was on the 30th. He's on the 28th.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Alec, everybody. Happy birthday to our host. You thought we were going to just sneak past that.
Exactly.
Alec had a birthday just the other day. So happy birthday to you too.
Yeah, either way, I just love Manu. I'm loving all the takes from all the podcasts and like the, KG and Paul Pierce talking about, Manu was such a problem back in the day. And I just love everybody talking about him. He deserves all the love.
Happy birthday to the best bench player in the history of the league. When they one day inevitably name the six-man trophy after somebody, it needs to be named after Manu Ginobili. Happy 48th birthday to our left-handed Argentinian GOAT.
Yes, sir. All right, Spurs Bros. So believe it or not, we thought that we wouldn't have anything to talk about today, but turns out there's a few things that are on the docket. Hey, before we get into the main event, though, I do want to give away our hat. Again, we talked about Spurs Bros that we're giving away, that we're creating new merch, and that my lovely wife, Sydney, is creating these awesome designs. We've got a lot of interest in this new one. I like the design. I like the feel of this. It's like a nylon type thing. You can definitely wear it around and not worry about it just messing up on after 2 wears or whatever. It's great. We're giving one away. And we said that to enter the giveaway that you had to type in the keyword was Wemby into the comment section. And so we got some takers, boys. And so for those of you who entered, may the odds ever be in your favor. So
yeah, we appreciate that. We were tuning in. We were listening to the Wemby comments on both YouTube and Spotify. So here it goes. We've got the contestants over here. And here we go. Let's see who gets the hat.
Come on. Give us something good.
Jason Garza.
Congratulations, Jason Garza.
Congratulations, Jason.
A new Spurs Bros first edition hat. We're calling it first edition. Why not? But hey, I think you're going to love this, man. Reagan's going to get in contact with you via our Spurs Bros page. And so please be sure, I hope he's watching this, give us your contact information and we'll send that hat your way. Congratulations, my friend. And thank you for tuning into the pod. We hope you're loving it. Awesome. All right. So with all that done, I kind of want to get into this contract situation with De'Aaron Fox. Reagan, do you want to kind of bring up, or I guess I can bring up one of our friends who's a very notable person on Spurs Twitter. I kind of want to base this conversation around what he wrote because I think it's actually a good post, but I think that there's some arguments here. So for those who don't know, De'Aaron Fox, he is set to sign a max contract extension with the Spurs, 4 years. Basically, what is it, 228, 229? That's supposed to happen in the next couple of days. But we have somebody on Spurs Twitter or Spurs X, Eric Salinas. He's a very prominent voice in the, again, Spurs community. And he kind of breaks down a situation in which we don't pay him the full max that he probably deserves. And so, I mean, Reagan, do you want me to go through this? I can do it, break it down. We can kind of go off from there and branch off.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some thoughts on this topic generated from my own brain, but yeah, why don't we go through what Eric had to say first, and then we can go from there.
All right, so I won't read this whole thing. It's pretty long, but just to kind of summarize, De'Aaron Fox is going to demand a 4-year max extension worth up to $230 million. And his post was basically about how, with the addition of Dylan Harper and what we saw with Stephon Castle, his really fast meteoric rise, having those two players on the team and them stepping into their own stardom sooner rather than later, giving De'Aaron Fox a max contract could actually hinder us, because by the time that Wemby's owed a contract and by the time that these guys are owed extensions, this could really cause some problems with our roster, right? And so basically what he says is he thinks that we should, a wise approach, should structure the extension with a 25 to 30% max and a 5% descending salary year over year. And so he's still paid like a star, but his contract scales down in case his role does too. And so his proposed idea would be to offer De'Aaron Fox a 4-year, $180 to $190 million contract. And he said that would be a nice win-win in his opinion. So he said, example, so that first year, 48.3 million. Second year, 45.89 million. Third year, 43.47 million. And then that last season, the 2029-2030 season, would be 41.06 million. So that, again, that would be a 4-year, $178.7 million deal altogether versus the standard, what, again, he's probably going to demand, that $230 million under a standard max with 8% raises year over year in that 4 years. And so he said, why would he do this? Why would De'Aaron Fox do this? And he says that he still gets to play where he wants on a competitive timeline. He says that Texas has no state income tax, so he'd save $24 million, basically have the same take-home pay as he would in Cali, I guess. And then also in this spot, Spurs get to preserve cap space for their young core, Wemby, Steph, Sohan, Harper, Carter Bryant, etc., when the time comes. And so obviously front-loaded deal helps keep the window open without handcuffing future moves. So that's his argument. What say you, Reagan? I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but what say you about all of this? We'll kind of go in. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know that it's really Eric's argument. I think it's Eric's Chat GPT edited argument.
I did
But
notice
what
that.
I would say is a lot of people want us to ask De'Aaron Fox to take a team discount. And as cool as that would be, that's pointless in my opinion. I know that he fell into our laps. I know that he kind of tanked his trade value to get here on a good price. And we love him for that. So pay him what he is eligible for. He's eligible for 4 years, $229 million extension. Like you said, that should be exactly what we pay him. We don't need to shortchange it. We don't need to get cute with it. We've got a 27-year-old all-star, potential all NBA caliber point guard to lead this team with a 21-year-old Wemby and a lot of depth. Why are we playing around with this? If Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle emerge into players that can be a De'Aaron Fox caliber in a few years, then okay, we deal with it then. But for right now, they're on rookie scale contracts. We can pay De'Aaron Fox what he's owed. And if we start to approach too close to that first or second apron for some reason, then we look at Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell trades, get off those contracts, break them up into expirings or a couple of contracts that make more sense. But to me, there's no like real reason to shortchange this guy after he forced his hand here, and we like his game. We just need to be reminded of what he's capable on the floor after the Peaky surgery.
I'm with you, Reagan. I completely agree. This is also his big contract. This is his freaking. He's in his prime. His prime contract. He'll have his late prime contract. One more after this, but he deserves his money. And everyone's also forgetting he already took a pay cut leaving Sacramento. If he wanted the most money he was going to get, he had what, 290, 300 if he would have stayed in Sacramento.
It was like a 5-year, $345 million deal.
He already took the pay cut to leave and come with us. And we're the Spurs. We already saw last year with CP. We gave him that verbal agreement. I think it's super fair to assume that we probably gave him a verbal agreement when he decided to come to us, him and Rich Paul, that, hey, we're going to sign you for the max. Obviously, the status quo changed. We got Dylan Harper, but guess what? The status quo changed when Stephon became the rookie of the year, and he should have been starting over CP, and we didn't do that. We stayed with CP. We don't want to aggravate a star. It just makes no sense why we wouldn't do it for all the reasons you said, Reagan. And dude, we're dealing with Rich Paul, the guy who makes the clients get exactly what they were told, get every penny. He squeezes it all out of everyone. He's going to get the money that we told him they were going to get 6 months ago. It's not changing now just because we drafted a number 2 guy who's never played a minute of NBA basketball yet, and we're just assuming, hoping he's going to be an all-star in 3-4 years, whatever. No, De'Aaron Fox is the fringe all-star point guard we already have right now, who's already proved himself for 7 years in the league. I'm with you, Reagan. It makes no sense not to pay him. And well, why would we aggravate it? Anything like that makes no sense. And
I don't want to test the waters and like make him uncertain about anything, like you said.
And again, Rich Paul, who owns half the league, essentially, well, why would we screw over Clutch Sports like that? Just bad juju. We want guys in the future to come play with Wemby. It just makes no sense to not do it,
right?
And give him the max.
Yeah, I tend to be with you guys as well. Again, part of Eric's argument is that he says that this team, the Spurs front office, values cap flexibility too much, and they can't afford to get in a tough situation with $60+ million salary on the hook for a few years in the beginning of Vic's prime. A front-loaded descending max still honors Fox's talent while hedging intelligently for what's clearly becoming a dynamic, evolving young roster.
When we made the trade, we knew Vic was going to be entering his prime in 2-3 years, and it was already nothing has changed other than we got.
To me, I don't think it does.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't think it does honor Fox's talent either. Like, we're asking him to take like a what is this?
Like 48 a year or something, bro. Yeah,
he's asking him to take a $42 million pay cut. How is that honoring his talent?
Yeah,
it's not, in my opinion. I don't see it. And look, he's 27 right now. This contract will take him to age 32 when it expires.
Right.
So again, 3 years from now, Stephon Castle's got 4 years under his belt, and Harper's got 3 years under his belt. Wemby's going to be extended. We're probably going to be off Vassell and Johnson. We can make that decision then. If he walks for nothing, fine. If the timeline is sooner and 3 years from now, it's like, hey, Harper and Castle gotta be starters, and we got to move on from Fox. Okay, so we're trading a 30-year-old De'Aaron Fox on a max contract. Fine, that's not the worst thing in the world. You think there's not some other contending team that's going to want to scoop up a 30-year-old De'Aaron Fox with 2 years left on his deal? That's still a trade asset, in my opinion. So I think the whole like worry about cap flexibility and asking him to take less and all this stuff, like I think it's kind of overwashed or like overhyped. Just pay the man what he's worth, and he's worth the max.
It is really interesting. I mean, again, I think he mentions this in here, but it's like he's saying like we wouldn't handcuff ourselves later on down the road, and it would be appealing to also trade like that contract. Like people would want to scoop him up for if we could sign him for 48, whatever, 42, $41 million at the end of that contract, a descending contract. But it's like, yeah, again, kind of what you're saying. It's like it kind of almost disrespects him. Stu, you just said he already took a cut to even agree to come here, right, in the trade. And then now it's like, hey, also, just in case we want to trade you later on down the road so that you look more appealing to trade to us, then please just sign this with us.
And we're talking handcuffs. Let's talk Devin Vassell making $27 million a year for the next 4 years till 2029. That's way more of a handcuff, or 6'5" combo guard, whatever you want to, super mid compared to De'Aaron Fox, who's a proven all-star. I'd much rather give him what he's deserved than overpay Devin, but get him off the books if we're getting someone talking about handcuffs.
Yeah.
No,
You want to talk about trade asset again? Like you can sell a Devin Vassell trade so easily. Mm-hmm. He's a 6'6", lengthy scoring wing that can guard multiple positions. That's the sell. Do we believe all of that? No, but that's the sell. Like he's a dynamic scoring guard wing player. Like at 24, 25, like just because we're tired of him doesn't mean that half the league won't be chomping at the bit to scoop him up. And we take some veteran players to really establish something here. If we're 40 and 30 or whatever it's going to be, 30 and 25 at the trade deadline, and we can go after some real players that are going to prove themselves on the defensive end, and Harper steps into a role and Castle steps into a bigger role, and we're ready to go. Like that's an option too. So yeah, I think this whole thing's overblown with asking him to take a cut.
Yeah, it's like totally not the Spurs MO to just, hey, we'll tell you we're going to do this. And oh, actually, no, we're going to screw you over now. Can you take $50 million less? Like, when have we ever done? Like, again, we've never done that before. We're not gonna do it now.
Yeah,
we shouldn't
I
do
think
it.
I think everybody expects this to be a maximum extension signed on August 3rd, and it's going to be clean and it's going to be quick.
I think that was a good AI tweet to generate some flow, get page views and all that. But I think it's pretty fair to assume that we should pay him the 230, and everyone should be happy with that too.
yeah, yeah.
No one should be bitching. Oh my God, we're gonna pay him 55 a year or whatever. No, that's
Right.
what he's earned. That's what and go prove it.
Again, yeah, in closing, I would say obviously we know Victor's going to get paid. De'Aaron Fox will get paid. And if Steph and Dylan Harper become who we think that they can become, then yes, we can deal with it later. And it won't be hard to trade De'Aaron Fox's contract, even that $60 million a year, because again, I think we always forget that
It's going to go
the
up.
cap going up, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Cap,
not just
cap always goes up.
Sounds crazy, but guess what? Other guys are making 75 a year, 72 a year. I mean, yeah. So
yeah. Everyone's talking.
Wemby's going to be making 78, probably. Like,
Yeah.
60 and 2-3 years from now, it's kind of more of the norm.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So kind of it'll all balance itself out, I think. And I think, again, God willing, that I think De'Aaron Fox stays healthy for a really long time in his career. I don't think we're going to see, I mean, maybe a step, he might become a step slower later into his prime, but I think by the time he's 32, 33, he'll still have that burst and he'll, if anything, become a better, jump shooter, become more of a threat from the outside just to kind of
His game will evolve. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
We've seen 5 games of him and Wemby. We told him we were going to pay him.
Yep.
We're going to pay him.
All right. All right. That's good. That's good. Hey. All right. Well, I'm glad we covered that. It's going to be coming up soon. So, I mean, moving along, folks, is the new Spurs arena. The Spurs, here's the big news, I guess, that kind of started all this out was the Spurs chairman, Peter J. Holt, shares details for these, Spurs Sports Entertainment investment into the new downtown arena. And he basically also announces that the Spurs are willing to invest over $1 billion for the new arena and surrounding infrastructure. So there's a ton of details in it. Reagan, feel free to go ahead and break this down. But basically, I think what Peter Holt said was that the project itself, total for the whole new arena and everything else, would be kind of around the ballpark of $1.5 billion for that whole thing. Am I correct on that?
I think that's for the arena itself is going to be 1.5. The land bridge over I-35 there, or 281, I forget which highway it is. But the land bridge, the surrounding entertainment districts, some of the improvements to the Alamo Dome is included in this project. So I think all in all, it's going to be closer to 3 to 4 billion. And that might be why some of the pushback has occurred. But the arena, like the actual arena itself and like the immediate surrounding and everything is going to be, about 1.5. But the Spurs and, Spurs Sports Entertainment, over $1 billion, 500 million of this is going to be cost overruns for the new arena, and then 500 million in adjacent downtown development. So they're contributing to both main aspects of this project. Another 60 million in community incentives. I'm not really sure what that entails, but this is a big commitment. Like, don't get anything wrong. This is a big commitment coming from them. And something else that I thought was cool that was included in the proposal here was that they've also committed to having tickets for $25 or less be available, guaranteed at every game in this arena. I don't know when that would expire, but 500 guaranteed tickets at $25 or less once these games start getting played at the new house. So
there you go.
I think that's kind of cool and makes tickets accessible to people who don't have hundreds of dollars to spend to go watch the Spurs play.
Yep, I love the commitment by the Holt family. I mean, they've always been, they've always led from the front, so that's great. I know there's been some pushback though. I think the reason why this is sort of trending on Spurs Twitter for basically the whole past week was because that there's some pushback. I guess the city itself, right? City officials and I guess legislators, people who want to who basically can vote this and make this happen. And I don't know. I mean, what is the pushback? I mean, are you seeing anything?
I mean, I don't know what Stuart, what you've seen, but what I've seen is kind of, some city councilmen are worried about their districts losing some foot traffic and some revenue that's generated at the Frost Bank Arena right now. And, just generally demanding that the Spurs fund 100% of this project, which is I mean, I guess if you really want to push that, go for it. But that increases the likelihood of San Antonio losing our most storied and valued franchise and the thing that brings together the entire city.
Yep.
I don't think the people that are making that, giving that pushback, really understand the social significance and the economic significance of this team.
Yep.
And if pushing them to pay for the entire project is going to open the door for them to move to Austin or Seattle or Vegas or somewhere else. I mean, we already lost one pro franchise to Vegas. I don't want to make it two. If that's on the table, can't happen. It just flat out cannot happen. The Spurs are too important to this city and the community.
Yep. Yep. And I think wasn't there also some sort of like a historic building there, I guess, like a like heritage site or something, or either way, I think that's also kind of in there as well. Like they don't want to tear that down. I think there's probably some pushback there as well. It doesn't matter. I think Reagan, you nailed it on the head. There's just no way that we can't or make this happen. I mean, this is everything. Like this is everything for San Antonians right here. We don't have a professional, well, I guess we technically, right? Professional soccer team. But beyond that, I mean, baseball, football, like this is it. This is it for us.
Yeah.
And it's not even just that, it's all the success that San Antonio has produced in such a whatever small market as well. So I mean, like you can't just let that go.
Think of the memories that we had growing up, like with the winning Spurs franchise. That's why we're doing this podcast right now. That's why the people listening to this podcast are listening, is because they got to see the cool stuff that brought this whole city together. Like in a world that's so divided, sports brings people together. And that's what the Spurs do. That's what they've always done. They've always poured into the community and they've always done it fairly.
Yeah, I mean, right, Stuart. Any last words to say about that? I mean, I think that's pretty straightforward. I mean, like, we got to find a way to make this happen. I don't care what it takes, but I think people will wise up sooner rather than later. Moving along, let's actually talk about before we get into ESPN's power rankings, which it probably doesn't even come out as to much surprise. Let's review last year's best and worst lineups. I kind of want to know y'all's thoughts on this. So, NBA University on Twitter or X posted this. Says this is San Antonio Spurs' most used lineups last year. So you've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different lineups. And really the best one was Chris Paul, Wemby, Harrison Barnes, and then Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan. Second best was Wemby, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, Stephon, and Julian Champagnie. And then third best is Chris Paul, Wemby, Harrison Barnes, Stephon Castle, and Devin Vassell. And then it kind of really tapers off from there. The worst one was, I guess, a super small lineup. Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Harrison Barnes. That was a negative 28.9 net rating per possession. So, I mean, Reagan, whenever you see all this, like, does this, like, what does it say to you? I'm actually going to bring this up so that people can see this.
Yeah, I mean, the plus 15.7, I'm imagining subbing out a 40-year-old Chris Paul for a 27-year-old De'Aaron Fox healthy, and that's going to be nasty.
Yep.
I'm also imagining the other lineup subbing the plus 12.3 at the top. You sub out CP3 for De'Aaron Fox, and then you got Castle and Champagnie in there. Again, that's going to be nasty. I think we've made upgrades to the roster, and these lineups are going to be even more volatile, not more volatile, more potent on both sides of the floor, more versatile. So it's exciting. What I know that we can't do is run this 6'8" and shorter lineup at the bottom there. Clearly, minus 29 net rating. Can't do that anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you too, man. Yeah, you replace Chris Paul and Devin Vassell with De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, and you keep the rest of those guys. I mean, Jeremy Sohan, Harrison Barnes, and Wemby. I still like that lineup a lot. Still not enough shooting. I mean, again, Harrison, great shooter. Wemby, streaky. Hopefully, he's getting better. And then, Stephon Castle, hopefully improved jumper, and De'Aaron Fox is going to do his thing. He can shoot. I mean, I love that.
Should be better shooters.
Yeah,
no matter what this year.
Yeah, exactly. I think I really like that lineup, but we'll see. Maybe there's not enough spacing in there as well because people are still going to sag off of Stephon and then definitely off of Jeremy until he starts to prove himself. But I mean, again, like you said, though, beyond that, doesn't matter, is that we can mix and match way better than we could this past year. I mean, you got Biombo or whatever down there with the negative 9.5.
That's the lone lineup with De'Aaron Fox was that -9.5. It's
Yeah.
CP3, Fox, Vassell, Barnes, and Biyombo. So again, you sub out Biyombo for a Wemby or a Cornet, and you put Dylan Harper where Chris Paul is, and that's massive upgrades at both of those positions. No slight to Chris Paul, run the offense, but he couldn't guard a cone, much less an NBA player. So yeah, there's so many upgrades that are happening. These negative lineups, I think we're going to be able to retool, and the positive ones, I think, are going to get even better.
Yeah. Stu, anything?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving along again is to ESPN's first power rankings for next year. We have the ESPN ranked the Spurs at number 16 out of 30 NBA teams, of course. So that's just below mid, I guess, is kind of what they're saying. And I mean, you don't really need to get into it too much. He said, notable additions to the lineup were Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, and Lindy Waters. Those were really our only ones. Yeah, I don't even know why they're saying notable. Notable departures: Mamu, Chris Paul, and Blake Wesley. Like we said before, it's pretty funny that they left out Malachi off of the notable departures, even though I wouldn't say Blake Wesley or Mamu is a notable departure.
And they got Blake Wesley wrong too. That was part of a trade. So I think,
right.
Yeah, who wrote this?
I don't know, man.
Right? Bro, he kind of mailed this one in. He must have been on vacation for this one.
Yeah, whatever. But it's got us above Boston, I guess, which makes sense. Philly, Indiana. I guess they got Indiana at 20. I mean, again, kind of like we talked about last week, Reagan. I don't see why we should be 16. I think we will be in.
We should be.
I think we'll be 12. They got Atlanta Hawks.
They've got Lakers, Warriors in the top 10. They got Clippers in the top 10. Those are three teams we talked about before that are going to rely a lot on their stars being healthy, and their stars are old. So that is not a guarantee. Those are teams that are not going to have, 80 games, 75 games from their top guys.
Which you probably won't get from Wemby. Who knows about Fox now? We got to count on Jeremy and Devin getting hurt at some point in the season. That's happened every year. No, I'm just saying, I think in today's NBA, the team who stays healthy, of course, they're going to be OKC didn't go through any injuries through the playoff. They won it all. They faced Denver injured. They faced Minnesota injured. They faced Indiana injured. So I mean, it's basically whoever stays healthy, of course. Yeah, but I mean, our team, no matter age, we for sure have a history of a lot of guys being injury prone. So we could be 30 and 52 this year if we're not healthy.
Yeah.
We kind of said last week, Stuart. Like Alec and I were like, if we get 65 plus games from Wemby and from Fox, Castle, Harper, Sohan, if we get 65 from that core group, our floor is minimum 45 games. That's a big if, because that's a lot of guys that have had injury history.
45 wins.
45 wins. Yeah. If we get 65 healthy games out of the core of our roster, that's a minimum floor 45 wins. What do you say?
For the season, or are you talking about in that 65?
Yeah, for the season. I'm saying if we can get at least 65 healthy games out of those guys.
Healthy, I would assume we can at least win 38 to 40 of those, hopefully, maybe 37. But yeah, when everyone's not healthy, we still pull out another 8 or 10 wins, then that'd be, 45, 46. I'm still sticking at 42, 40, 41, 41 next year. This is where I'm still at, which I think will still be in that play, and I still don't see us being a for sure top 6. But again, all that's kind of injury pending. So if something happens to Kawhi, James Harden, that screws the Clippers. Something happens to anyone on OKC, any of their top 3 guys, that kind of screws them. KD gets hurt, he's 38 years old, that screws Houston. So I mean, if we're completely if we get 75 games out of all of them, we could win 50 next year.
That's 50 games.
Could be a top 5 seed if other teams get injured or whatever. But I could easily still see us being in that 40 win range and be in the play-in. It's still a tough.
I don't think 42 wins. I don't think 42 wins gets us in the play-in, honestly.
No, because the West is gonna be so tough.
That's what we talked about last
week.
Yeah, which is tough. And 42 wins probably in the East next year would get you the 5 seed or something. So
yeah, probably.
So I mean,
There's gonna be some shameful tanking too from these teams with the way the 2026 draft is looking.
Oh yeah,
there's I saw somebody the other day was there are 3 flag level prospects in next year's draft.
There's
going to be some shame.
It's not even the clear number 1 anymore. AJ could go 2 or 3.
Boozer and what's his name? Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I was right. Okay, Peterson. Yeah,
Peterson.
Yeah.
Darren Peterson.
I was thinking AJ Peterson. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so Darren Peterson. Yeah. No, I agree. I think you're going to see those top three guys maybe go to the Eastern Conference, low key. Just because think about it, dude. Indiana down, Boston down. I mean,
Yeah, Utah might have something to say.
oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Utah, I guess.
But like aside from Utah, I feel like the
Now the
rest of the
West, dude,
West
I
is
mean, we
kind of
can't even.
like
Yeah,
capable.
yeah. New
Yeah.
Orleans could end up down there, but they're not going to try to end up down there. They
Nah.
gave up their first round pick next year, so they're going
They're
to
gonna be gas. Yeah, they're gonna be
Portland,
total
they just
no.
got hot towards the end of last year. They're going for it. It's really the West is screwed other than Utah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going to go. Lakers, they're all in still right now. Warriors, they're all in still. Clippers, fully
Have to
all
be.
in. I mean, Sacramento, they have all their guys who are in win now mode. We could easily still end up 12th in the West next year.
I still think that going back to what we were saying, last week, Reagan, and back to your points too. I just don't see us again. We were trending 500 last year, going into Christmas / New Year time, and I just don't see us being like that. Like I think
That again,
well,
We're a
500.
better team.
I think we'll
Yeah.
be better than that. Yeah, I think there's definitely gonna be some growing pains. It's just seeing how Dylan Harper kind of fits in. But if he did what he did during summer league, like we talked about, I think he'll fit in just
And
fine.
we did have injury problems leading up to Christmas last year. Like
We did.
Sohan was out.
Jeremy was
We
out.
had problems. Like
Definitely
Devin
was
Vassell
out.
didn't first 6 games of the year, didn't play. So we already had injury problems, and we were still basically 500 at Christmas.
Yeah,
Like we're a better squad. It's gonna be like
I
I'm
know.
sorry, it's gonna be better. Like the
No.
further away we get from the season, and the closer we get to the beginning of next year, I'm just gonna continue to get more and more like like no shame optimism here. But as of right now, bro, we're gonna be sick.
Oh yeah.
16 is disgraceful, ESPN. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Yeah.
honestly with it. 16, solid.
That's what you said. So like play in basically, and
Yeah,
I said
but
12,
I've
which
still
is
been
like
with
top
that.
six. If I'm balancing it out, right, 6 and 6,
Yeah.
top six in the East, top six in the West. But yeah, I mean, I say we're there. I'm saying we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think if the league was already top 16 teams in the whole league make the playoffs, I think we'd get in. I just don't think we're going to be top 6 guaranteed in the West. And again, we still might get in. I'm just saying we're going to be in the 7 to 10 range of playing, and hopefully we win the.
Playing. We'll see.
We'll see. All righty. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. And as Reagan said, as we draw closer to the season, I'm just going to become even more and more optimistic about this team and the squad. So, Reagan, anything else that you want to cover? Anything you want to talk about before we?
Nah, nothing else. I don't have anything else. Subscribe to the channel. Let's all tune in Sunday to see if this Fox deal gets done and what that number ends up being. I think if we hit Monday and there's not a deal done, there could be trouble in the water, and we might have some back and forth here. But if we're we get to Sunday and then Monday happens and we get a deal done, expect that 4 for 229 to be done, and it's going to be clean, it's going to be quick, and we can move on with our off season. But
Yep.
I don't have anything else, guys. Shout out to all the listeners. Continue to hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, and from Spurs Bros, go Spurs, go.